Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to Fridays with Brandon. This is Fluke Fridays, episode number 68. And today what we're going to talk about is the Fluke PTI120 and how to do asset tagging. We're going to go through how do you actually do the asset tagging and tag the asset on the device itself, as well as how do you get the file off of this and what does it look like with a couple of the different methods that you can get it off, whether you're getting it off on your phone or whether you're getting it off and pulling it off on your PC. So let's jump into it. This is the PTI120. Obviously, we've talked about this before in another video. See if this get in focus for us for a second. There we go. We've got a visual camera and we have a thermal camera. The visual camera allows us to scan either a QR code or a barcode. Now, the barcode is not real easy to scan. You have to have a pretty big barcode, and I'll show you later. I got one on my phone. Or you can, because if you have a normal size barcode, it just doesn't have a good enough camera to, it's not like our phones that have really high resolution camera that can focus on really, really small things. So you're going to need to do either a very large barcode, like when I say large, I mean like 6 inches long or something. Pretty big barcode so you can be 6 to 8 inches away from the camera to get it in focus and capture it. Or a QR code, which is better, but you can't use a teeny tiny barcode. I saw one on the outside of one of my package we had laying around the house, and it was about ½ an inch tall, the QR code, and it just wasn't good enough. I'll show you how on this this QR code I have here that's probably 2.5 inches tall has no problem with it. So what do we do first? We get into the camera and we're going to touch the screen. Going to go into asset tagging, and you can see now we're scanning. Oh, look, it already identified that QR code in the background. So this is my little flyer for my channel. So use QR code, and look, it puts the whole channel name right there. Okay, so you can say okay, and now every image we take will have this asset tag. So in a real life world, right, you might scan the asset and then take multiple images of that machine, and all of those will be tied to that single asset. Okay, now when you get to the next asset, let's say you get to another asset, and you can enter this manually as well. Let's see if I can figure it out. 1 second. Oh, here it is. So when we're ready for another asset, we do this, and we can scan a new one, and then boom, it found it. We can use barcode, and now it says ABC, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to use that, and we'll just take a picture of this phone to remember that one. It's tied to that asset. And then we can hit save, and if we wanted to change assets again to another asset, we could hit this, hit that right in here, and say no, we want to enter manually, and we can say fingers maybe. Oh, sorry, you can hear kiddos crying in the background as I finger fart around with this. Fingers, save. You can see fingers, so now I can hold up a few fingers and take a picture of that and hit save. So once you do that, all your assets are saved on here. Now you're going to go to your PC or your computer, and you're going to pull these assets off. And I'll show you that here in a little bit. Now, one question people have had on my last video that I did on thermal imaging, they said, oh, your thing's not doing calibration as much. See how it just said calibration there? There's a couple things you could do. One is when it gets a dramatic temperature change, sometimes it'll do it more. The other thing is the longer a camera's on, when that sensor has warmed up, the less frequently it will calibrate. So all thermal imagers are going to keep saying calibration, but if you were to let your camera warm up for 10 minutes, let's say, it might go 2 or 3 minutes without a calibration. So that's one of the questions that came in this last week. I thought I'd throw that in there. Now let's jump to the office and we'll show you how to yank all this stuff out. Okay, so after you capture the asset tag with your PTI120 in the field, whether you're scanning the barcode, scanning the QR code, or manually entering, whatever you do, once you get into the computer, basically you've got a couple options. You can use Smart View, and I've got other videos and I'll link them down below of how you download images from a thermal imager and the different methods you can use for that. It's the same process regardless of what tool you have. But you can click this, click download all, and then you'll be able to download the images, and you're gonna like select your folder and stuff, and then you're gonna get something like this. Like I selected this folder and then it dumped in, and the tags that I had done, ABC123, that's the barcode, and then the my YouTube QR code, you can see my YouTube channel link. So you double click that and then you can see the images right inside there. And the cool thing is, in the future, if you were to scan the same QR code and then take additional images and then download them the same way, it's going to dump additional images in here over time, so that you would have all the images that you ever take with this asset tag, the barcode, will be in here every time you download. That's if you use Smart View. Okay. The other option is you can use Fluke Connect, and within Fluke Connect, we can click here, and we can sort by asset. And let's see if I can find. This is one I did on another time. This is my son. I was just playing with it, but I named it Be Good for my initials, and right there, and it'll actually bring it up in the asset tag, so you can sort by your asset tag. And we could search, like I have another one that I did called test, so I could search, and then you can see my 2 test images, okay, and they're under that asset tag. So that's how you can use asset tag and how it will look both in Fluke Connect desktop as well as in Smart View. And yeah, I guess if you do it in Fluke Connect desktop, it is gonna when you download it, it's gonna show up in the cloud. If you were to put it in the PC itself on the local drive, kind of like it should be similar to Smart View, that it would create different folders for each asset. So I hope that's helpful. The biggest thing I think if you want to be successful using asset tag is make sure you have nice big labels. You can't have teeny tiny QR codes. They need to be at least, I don't know, an inch or two large, in inch or two by inch or two. And then for barcodes, they need to be really big to be able to read those. They probably need to be 4 to 6 inches wide. They can't be like just a little barcode on the back of a label like you would use at a grocery store to check out. So hopefully that's helpful, and pass this information on if somebody that you know needs this information. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.